Hello, wherever you are. We are live. Oh, wow, look what just showed up. Yay, that's amazing. All right, doing a nice little sound check. So if someone is there, if anyone is there, go ahead and say hello so I can see you. I'm going to check the channels, make sure we're good on all of them. Let's see here. Yes, we look right. Yep, we look right on Facebook, and now I'll check the YouTube stream because, it always pays to check because this energy stuff has been incredibly crazy and kind of insane. Let's see. Okay, it does. Yes, I am live. So, welcome everyone. The chat is live if you want to hop on and say hello. Thank you. You're going to be my sound check person, Richard. Thank you so much. Because I never know. It's kind of tricky. Hi Janet. Good to see you. Yeah, today's going to be a really interesting one, although I do have to say I've got Lily's my little Lily's eating everything that's just down below me right here. So it's gonna be a little tricky not to yell at her. I'll have to be on my best behavior. So goodness, wait, welcome. Okay, everybody's starting to come on. And hopefully you have grabbed your beverage of choice. My beverage of choice this week is, what am I drinking? I'm drinking in my handy dandy Starbucks cup. I have some iced tea so I don't completely voice out on you. It's really good tea too. It's this wild fruit tea that I found, caffeine free, because I cannot do caffeine after like 12 o'clock my time. Welcome, Leanne. Yeah, there's people are starting to come on. So I had an exciting kind of thing happen this week. I rebranded my Facebook page, so it's more of me. In 2008, when I created that page, that clairvoyant readings page, I was doing readings for people. In fact, I was teaching at a psychic school and teaching healing and all kinds of different things. And but I just did not want my name out there, like at all. It was just freaking me out. So I created just clairvoyant readings by Debra, and there it was. But now with Spirit Light Insight, I've actually had that. That's my website, spiritlightinsight.com. But what I love about it is when I bought it, it was like super cheap and it was nothing important. But now it's actually 3, what they call keywords, which is spirit, light, insight. And so now it's kind of cool. And also you can say spirit, light, insight, or you could say spirit, light, insight. So I love both of those. Caffeine doesn't do anything for you, Leanne. Oh my God. It's not that it doesn't do anything for me. It's just I will be up all night. So I really, I don't even know what to say about that, but I wish it didn't. But the other interesting thing that happened is I got a message from when I get a message from Facebook that said, "Oh, hey, you're eligible for Facebook stars. We're considering you a content creator because you've got, so many people on your Facebook page, and it's been established and everything. And I got all excited. And so I just want to see what this looks like. So if you're on Facebook, you'll be able to see this, and maybe on YouTube. I'm trying to get oh, that's not going to work. Let's see here. It says during live broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, but it doesn't tell me how to do that. Oh, well, okay. It was a nice thought. It says it right here. Oh, here. There it is. I don't know exactly what that means. So someone might have to send me stars. During the broadcast. I'm working on it with YouTube. They have their requirements and followers. If I had the same number on YouTube, I'd be fine. But we're getting there. So I'm growing. I'm growing. We're growing. We're growing. And yeah, back to the caffeine. Richard's saying, trying to come back on caffeine. Yeah, it doesn't help. Oh, but we're going to talk about some of that insomnia stuff indirectly a little bit, because insomnia is very often an energy that we pick up on during the day or during the week or during the news cycle. And I don't know. Well, I just can't do. I do caffeine in the morning. I love my coffee. Love, 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 love my coffee. Can't live without. I mean, well, yes, of course I can live without it. But anyway, so as people continue to come on, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. But happy end of your week, or happy Saturday if it's tomorrow in your end of the world. But welcome to TGIF for the Curious and Enlightened, the end of the week wrap up. I am your host, Debbie Taitel from Spirit Light Insight. Hi, Mom. My mom is here. Excellent. Let's see here. Maria is here. Welcome, Maria. So this is fantastic as people are coming on. And what I realized, I actually put it out there when I did sort of the rebranding of my page is, gee, should I be Debra, Debbie, because people, so you can call me whatever you want. My legal name is Debra. Everybody calls me Debbie, Deb, Debra, whatever you want. So that's who I am, your host and clairvoyant and guide for today. So how's everybody doing? How's the energy been? Richard's got insomnia. Leanne says caffeine doesn't do anything for her, which is actually great. I would love to drink espresso, have a nice little espresso. But actually, those things are really drugs to our system. I do realize that, but I wish I could have an espresso at night. But how's everybody's energy doing? I have experienced a lot of sort of felt like angry energy coming at me, but it wasn't personal. It wasn't anything that I could sort of tie into anything. It just was sort of in the air. It was this unconscious anger, which it's hard to pinpoint. I might be clairvoyant and I work energy, but it doesn't mean I can pinpoint it. I just have to look at it periodically. But the weather patterns have been all over the map. Oh my God. So today I got up and I was doing fine. I was working on this, getting all this together, this information. And it was freezing in my apartment because it was like 50 some degrees, and they don't turn the heat on. I'm in a condo, so they can't just turn it on and off and everything. So it was freezing cold in here. So I was like, oh, I'll just put on some sweats. So I'm sitting here. It's June. It's mid-June, and I'm sitting here in sweats and sweatpants. And then so I made some hot tea. I drank the tea. and then I was hot. So I had to then go back to what I was wearing, which was like a tank top and, little pants and everything. So it's really the weather has been crazy all over. I know my friend Lewis out in Canada was posting. He posted some video of this horrendous rainstorm and that there were tornado warnings and everything. And how's everything in your neck of the woods doing? It feels very up and down. Other people have posted weather stories. So it's very almost the energy is a little bit disconcerting. Um, oh, this is really good. Yeah, it felt like boundaries were challenged continuously this week. And I'm sorry for the delay, y'all. Um, that's going to be part of the tipping process that because I'm trying because there's just too long a delay, and so I might have to upgrade, kind of how I go about this so that there won't be a delay. But so I apologize for that. But felt like boundaries were challenged by people with chaotic energies. Yeah, and what happens with that, it's really interesting. It's great that you brought that up, Richard, because what happens with chaotic energies, which actually are in the world. So it's not even necessarily personal. I mean, it might feel that way, but it may not be personal. It's that people don't know what to do with the chaotic energies. And so they kind of act them out or get sucked right in to that space, because chaotic energy, if you don't know what to do with it, if you don't know how to ground or meditate or calm that down, it's crazy making. That's the bottom line. So the best thing that we can do, and I have kind of a different take on boundaries, that it's less about drawing a line in the sand with boundaries, because that's what a lot of people do. That's how a lot of people learned it, is don't you cross over this boundary. And when I offer classes and things like that on how to own your space, it's more about owning your space, because people are going to do whatever they're going to do. And as long as we don't, let's say, draw that proverbial line in the sand, which then actually creates resistance, which is sometimes how they get in. But when we are zen, when we are calm, like Richard, you're a lot more grounded and calm than some of those folks. And so it's even doubly so that it feels really strange. I mean, I ended my goddess class this week, Embrace the Goddess, Tap into the Divine Feminine. I thought that class was going to kill me. There was so much energy coming at me. It was insane. And so sometimes that happens. And yeah, there's a lot of chaotic energy in the world. And also, the earth itself is stirred up. Has anybody noticed that the earth is stirred up? The planet itself, we're making, I think I just heard recently something about the shift in the axis of the earth, and that when the center of the earth is turning and a little bit nuts, we all tend to go a little bit crazy. So, the weather patterns and everything makes sense to Maria. Yeah, it's seemingly real, because it doesn't feel good. I will say this, that with all this crazy weather, though, oh my God, my allergies have been kicking my butt. Just sneezing fits of, and coughing and things like that. Thus, my lovely tea in my lovely, beautiful cup. I like to make a fanfare of things to top off some of these energies of the week that you're all experiencing. The new moon is on June 18th. And so that is all about new beginnings, new opportunities, and all of that. So when we are setting our intention, or excuse me, when we get to our meditation reset, which I hope you'll stick around for, we're going to add some new moon intentions in there, just for fun. Right? So I had a disturbing thing happen this week that I wanted to share with you. Excuse me. This is just crazy. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Very professional of me. Again, this live stuff is so human. Yes, welcome, Angela, from the other side of the world. It's Saturday in New Zealand, so welcome. Thank you for coming. I love when you pop on. It's great. I feel like I love when we're global. I don't know why. I get excited. It just makes me very excited. But I had this disturbing thing that I wanted to talk about because periodically, every now and then, I get a message from somebody, and it's hard for me to be neutral with it. And the people that I know, my colleagues and folks that I work with in the psychic world, in the spirit world, some amazing psychics, tarot readers, mediums. I have a big circle of that, and for the people that I work with, we all sort of agree on this. But I want to address those psychics, mediums, clairvoyants, energy healers, or really whoever works with spirit. And I don't want to address the ones who are above board, the ones that are ethical and all of that. But I have to say, there are a lot of scam artists out there. Like, there's a lot of scam artists, frauds, cons. What would you call it? In the old days, it would be called charlatans. That's like an old word. I don't know when that's from, how long ago that's from. But I received a message from someone telling me that actually, they were thanking me for being above board and ethical and teaching what I teach. And they went on to say that they're a devout Christian and don't even believe in what I do, per se, right? They have their own beliefs, but they were thanking me for sharing what I do because they had recently accepted a friend request on Facebook, and that person basically messaged them almost right away and saying, "Oh, I was drawn to you. I have a message for you." Have any of you ever experienced that, where somebody did anyone has anyone ever had the experience of being approached by someone saying that? And I want to give it time. That's why I'm kind of jumping ahead to ask the question. But have you ever experienced that? Oh, I have a complete stranger says, "Oh, I have a message for you." I've received messages that had happened, let's say when they were walking down the street, or, "Oh, Maria, I'm curious if you can jot down, a few things, and I'll read it out loud because it's so." If anyone approaches you out of the blue, right? Maybe they do have a message, but they don't even know you. But if anyone says that they have a message for you or spirit prompted them to approach you, honestly, your alarm bells should go off, because 9 out of 10 of those times, there might be, someone who really is prompted, right? But people do. Thank you, Maria. You right where I was going. You need to get permission before you read someone. So for all you new people dabbling in tarot or dabbling in spirit, and I'm a psychic and I'm a healer and I'm a this or I'm a that, take note. You need to get permission from someone to read them. That is their vulnerable spiritual space. Yeah. So your alarm bells should absolutely go off. Richard's had it happen. It's really rampant on social media, and it's pretty obvious. Obviously it's obvious, but people are vulnerable, and it's no reputable or ethical psychic will ever do that. No one will do it. Yeah. And by the way, this especially and doubly goes for anyone who pops on this chat here. If you're whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube listening, and thank you, Leanne, for listening as you multitask. I love that. You are welcome to multitask and listen. Um, but anyone who approaches you from me or from my friends list, uh, even on YouTube, you check with me and see. But this goes doubly true. I have banned so many people from, when I see them pop up, and they will just offer you a reading right from my thread. An ethical psychic, clairvoyant, and I'm talking about all light workers, spiritual workers, healers, whatever. Ethical folks in this who do this work respect your space. They let you come to them where you're asking for advice or guidance or whatever you need, right? They don't need to poach someone from my YouTube or Facebook or my Facebook friends list. I have received countless messages from people, and that's when I shut down my timeline, my personal one, that people would go through my friends list and offer my friends who know me readings. So it's tough, but anyone who is ethical will respect your space. Everyone else, the folks that want to just jump on it and give it, oh, I want to give you a message. This is not like Touched by an Angel, that TV show that people show up. This is not like, if anybody's watched Manifest, I'm kind of getting into Manifest suddenly again, as I realize it's about the battle of light and dark and all that. But, where people get what they call callings, or I call them clairvoyant messages, right? This is not TV. This is, real, when people approach you. Hi, Tammy, welcome. So if you are approached by somebody, they're predators, they're charlatans, they're cons. They prey on your fears, beliefs, and vulnerabilities. They are not interested in your well-being. They just want your cash when they hook you into a reading, because that message might be this little message, but then they're going to hook you into a reading. So anyone who divides or isolates you, or tells you not to tell anyone about the work that they're doing, or if they make you afraid, you need to run far and fast, right? I had a friend, and this is a good friend who knows what I do. Yeah, Richard, absolutely. This makes intuitives and mediums look unprofessional with no boundaries or ethics. Absolutely. It gives the whole business a bad name, but not even that. It makes people even more afraid when they recognize the truth, or they feel shame for getting looped in. Right? It does come off as rude, Maria. Catching someone off guard, they might be in the space. They might not even want to hear that message, because usually it is not a good positive message, especially when it comes to, let's say, loved ones who have crossed over. I had a friend who went to. So it was a recommendation from another friend of hers that she go to this Chinese medicine man or something. I guess he was some sort of shaman or something. And she walked in, and he started talking to her about curses and how she was going to die if she didn't have them removed. And he programmed her and scared her so bad. And would you believe he said, I'm not kidding, well, if you pay me $10,000, I'll remove the curses and you'll be fine. You'll have a beautiful life. You'll have children. You'll have, this and that. But it's going to be in two different sections where you're going to give me $5,000 now and then $5,000 later. She was so terrified that she did it. And then she called me so embarrassed and so ashamed. And I did a deprogramming on her and everything was fine. But there's people out there that will prey on your fears. So what is Maria became very upset once during a street fair when the lady started saying things out loud and the person I came with was encouraging me to get a reading. Yeah. We know what's comfortable and what's not comfortable. And there's a lot of what we call transmediums. So that's people who channel other beings that aren't necessarily the beautiful guides or angels or, things that there's all kinds of beings out there, just like there's all kinds of people out there. But the bottom line is if anyone approaches you out of the blue or mentions they're the only ones who can help you, or they want to isolate you, don't talk about it, just don't fall prey to these people. Reach out to me. I will help you decide. I won't tell you what to do, but I can clear the energy from your space. There are plenty of charlatans out there who will happily take your money. And also what I would say is don't shop psychics. What I mean by that, and psychics will tell you that, or mediums or people who predict the future, but don't just go from one to the other to the other. Take time to process after each reading. What did that reading mean for you? What was true for you? What do you want to release from that reading? What do you want to hold on to, or let's say, look at more? If you're looking for an answer and the first psychic didn't tell you the one you wanted to hear, and then you go to another one and another one and another one, at some point you're going to go to someone who's going to give you the answer you want to hear. And you're going to go, wow, that's great. They gave me such a great reading. But that's really not, in my humble opinion, what a reading is for. A reading is to help you get unstuck. Reading is to help you find resolve or process what you're working on. So that is my rant for the day. Thank y'all for sticking with my rant. So, as an aside from all of that, because we're gonna just shift. We're gonna shift the dynamic right away. So, spirit is becoming very mainstream these days. And we're seeing it in books. We're seeing it in movies. I mean, we've always seen it in, various forms and, back we've heard about remote viewing and all of that, even going back to the Cold War. But spirit is becoming so mainstream that I don't know. Do y'all know Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy grand champion? Is Jeopardy around the world? I don't know if Jeopardy's around the world or not. But Jeopardy's been on, and this guy's the grand champion. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all times. And he just wrote a book called 100 Places to See After You Die, a travel guide to the afterlife. I'm sorry, I cannot wait to read this book. And I guess what he did is and I'm taking this from an interview that I saw on, what was it, Newsweek or something that I was reading. But I've seen him being interviewed. Ken takes his knowledge of just about everything and attempts to extend it to the great unknown, death. But the book focuses on the afterlife, including heaven and hell and everything in between, as depicted in religion, pop culture, literature, and more. Jennings' research spanned from reading and analyzing descriptions of hell from ancient Tibet to watching The Good Place and parsing what these portrayals could tell us about humanity, religion, and what we feel about the great beyond. So, I can look clairvoyantly at it, but personally, I am super curious to see what he's put together, not to mention how fun 100 wait, what's the name of it again? It's 100 wait, I have to look. 100 places to see after you die, a travel guide to the afterlife. Seriously, I am immediately going to get this book. Wait, I should type it in there, huh? Why don't I do that in case anybody is interested in that? I should have linked it, but I didn't think of it. So I'm just going to put 100. I love the title, Travel Guide to the Afterlife. Don't we all want a travel guide to the afterlife? We don't want to travel to the afterlife so much, but to, get there, life after life in some ways. So I'm just putting this in there for you. This should show up. So that is the name. Yeah, Richard says celebs are speaking much more openly now about working with psychics and intuitives, and they always have worked with psychics and well, I'm not going to say always, but many have. And for heaven's sake, we go back, which was the king. Like if you go even to the Old Testament with Joseph, right? He was a seer. There were seers and wise men, and the kings and queens were all surrounded by psychics. So it's always been around, but there wasn't so much of the information, you know. Um, it's important to get this information out, especially right here and now in where we are. And someone like Ken Jennings, it's a great way to do it because he's so intellectual. And even though spirit's not intellectual, it's not an intellectual process, clairvoyance, you can't think about things, right? You can't analyze them because it's not about the intellect, it's spirit. So I think I can't wait to see what his sort of intellectual take and research brings. So I am absolutely going to get that book. When I started my journey into this, and I've always been psychic. My mother will tell you, we come from a psychic, crazy family. My great great grandmother was a healer in Romania. She used to, I guess, stay with women who had that really heavy duty postpartum depression, but she was known as a healer. She was a seer. Um, just all my dad used to call me, uh, well, let's see, he used to call my mother, myself, and my aunt the three witches, because we knew things. We were, we had intuition was rampant, and also because of that, I grew up in a space where it was actually welcomed and open. It wasn't like, no, you're not, seeing this or experiencing that. And so I'm kind of lucky that way because there was no information about anything. It was the woo woo crowd. It was the people getting way stoned out in California when I was growing up. I was born in the 60s. My mother is validating. Yes, we are. um, and it was a woo crowd and just this kind of select few. But now, and it's so incredible because now The challenge is not how much information is out there. The real trick, because we can be psychic as we can be and we can get information and everything, but the challenge really is using our discernment and not taking every single bit of information that we read or see as the absolute truth. That is a huge thing. And it's not necessarily that it's misinformation some out there, although there's a bunch of misinformation. But one example that I use on all of this is, let's say, the chakras. So those are our energy centers, our subtle energy bodies. We're more than this body, these molecules and atoms and all of that. We're much more than that. We animate the body. So an example is we've got the chakras, our energy centers that hold our information and our wisdom. It's also, let's say, our expression. But as an example is someone who writes a book about chakras. So maybe some guy sits down and he starts psychically looking at chakras, and then he says, well, this chakra is this certain color and this other chakra is another color. Have you, and any of you heard that? Oh, this one's, I don't even know what they are. The different, what they're quote unquote supposed to be, right? But the guy's writing a book and he sees that the first chakra, second chakra, maybe the first chakra is red and then the second chakra is blue and all of that and so on. So it's not that they're wrong. They're looking at the chakras of some other person, or they might even have been looking at chakras within themselves. Okay, they're doing a psychic exploration or a deep dive. Or maybe a yoga master, a spiritual teacher at some point had their students tune their chakras to a particular color for whatever they were doing in class. Yeah, so maybe they said, okay, the first chakra is orange, and so everybody had it be orange, and then maybe the second chakra was purple, and people matched or tuned to that color and vibration. And then students, or in the case of the guy writing the book who was doing a psychic journey, they decided that that's the only color it can be. Yeah. Hello and welcome, Karen. Happy Friday to you too. Welcome. Nice to see you here. So these are teachers and people who wrote books. And, sometimes I think we look at things and we go, oh, wow, this is really cool. Yes, that's the truth. And again, it's not that what they were seeing wasn't true, but, and here's where the discernment comes in. The only truth I know is when I look at people and I know that chakras are our information and how we express ourselves as spirit. Our chakras can actually be any color. It depends on the spirit, that part of you. This is your spiritual essence. So they can be any color. So the next time you read or watch something, ask yourself if the information that you're reading or seeing or hearing is true for you, or if there's more information to see and know, because you have your own clairvoyance and your own crown chakra and your own wisdom and knowledge. So look, kind of open it up, expand it. This is some of the most important stuff that you can do for yourself in this world, and as we all awaken these parts that have been sort of, what would you say, asleep? I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, clouded over. So wow, that was just the beginning. I didn't even get to our weekly wrap up yet. So I hope you all stick with me for a while because we've got some kind of interesting things to discuss. But for now, I should actually say I am Debbie from Spirit Light Insight. I am your host today, and we are talking about, or we're about to talk about, our weekly wrap up. And it's no surprise that I'm calling this wrap up Mind Games. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. So that's where we are. This is our kind of station identification. And if you happen to be on Facebook, you can support this stream. There's some stars there. I don't even know how they look. So someone might have to actually send me some stars to let me know how it works. But you can sort of tip or whatever. You can send me stars. You can buy increments. I think they start at 99 cents. So you can do that. Or if you are here, you can support the show. If you look right down, there's a link in the description to support the stream that you can access, or you can go here. You can actually point your phone at that QR code, and I think it will show up also in the stream. So here we are. I think it's a lively. Oh, yummy. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, we'll see. I don't know how they work. They just monetized me. They just sent me this wonderful email, and it took me like 4 days to figure out the complications of it all. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. Thank you. And what we're talking about is so many people stay bound in the 3D world is defined by our five senses. Yep. In other words, they're connected in being a body and not spirit. That's how I say it. Yeah, we've got a lot more senses than even just six. There's a lot. We have psychic abilities that people don't really talk about. We've got clairaudience, clear hearing, so we can hear spirits. Actually, I'm getting ringing in my ears so I can hear spirit even now as we speak. It's Yeah, that's what happened. By the way, ringing in your ears, that's some kind of spirit talking to you. So there's a little tidbit nugget for you. So yeah, mind games. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, especially when we waste our minds in fear and we believe a lot of those thoughts or a lot of things that people tell us, and they're not even true. And this is kind of my rabbit hole this week. Is I've been on, what are you going to believe? What are you going to listen to? Somebody earlier today was asking me about gaslighting. I said, well, what's the energy of gaslighting? And it's just that person is telling you something. Now we've of course given it a name, but the person's telling you something and you're believing it. It's not that somebody's actually gaslighting you. You're believing what they say. So, I don't know. That's interesting. But this past week for our wrap up, one of the things that I noticed, and one of the things that we're noticing in the world, just kind of at large, is, how we talk about the thinning veils and things like that. But this past week, it seems that the veils of fear and power and control are clearing. People are actually, we're opening up a space where people have to be responsible for their energy and responsible for their actions. So the fear, people are looking beyond the fear to try and seek some kind of modicum of truth, no matter what that is. So what this means for all of us is that the lies or untruths are no longer being believed hook, line, and sinker by the masses. And the one thing that I await, honest to God, what I await us changing and stepping out of is, because none of this is about blame, right? It's not about who takes the blame or points the finger at the other. We do a lot of that. And the more fingers we point, the more we divide. No matter how well-meaning we are, there is no right side, wrong side. If we start pointing fingers, but there are certain things that now are people really can't get away with them the way they used to. So on an energy level, it looks to me, maybe you have another thought on this, so I want to hear your thoughts on this, because each of you is looking at the news and looking at the world and looking at all kinds of things. But on an energy level, it looks to me like people are opening up to seeing that this is all a game, that the fear and control and power is all a game. So whether it's the power and control games or the pointing the fingers and blaming game, what I want to circle back to is what we're seeing play out in the world on an energy level is this giant level of fear that is clearing. There's also a giant level of karma clearing as well. And it's on both sides. It's the people who the karma from those who maybe created the issues, or you know, if you killed a bunch of people, right? You might be on that side, or you might be on the side of being killed. Whatever I'm talking about karmically, but either or. The karma is clearing from whatever side, whatever the agreement is. And so we need to forgive ourselves if it's a past life thing. It's not real anymore, right? But this level of fear is clearing, and this is really a good thing. And I hate to use judgment words. You all know me if you've taken a class with me or a workshop. But it's a good thing, because if fear rules over us, we cannot be neutral or have our discernment or even see psychically. Where there is fear, there is survival, especially if we buy into the fear. So Richard says that there's a bunch of people here to help guide others through this upgrade of humanity. Yep, that's what we're doing right here. Even this teensy weensy little YouTube moment that we're having here. Ooh, and I have to fix this. Has that been like that? Has the light been coming out of my head this whole time? But this teensy weensy little, TGIF, hopefully is helping people, because you all know from last week that I'm stuck on the 6 degrees of separation that we take from what we get out of this, and then we bring it to others and all that. So yes, we are here to guide. We're here at a very special time. Thank you, Angela. Angela's saying right on point. So thank you so much. Yeah. But it's so important that we have our discernment, that we have our 6th chakra, our clairvoyance, because it's only going to get murkier. But if we're sitting in fear, that's our body. That's our physical body. And it's a thought in our head. I teach in my classes, and I tell people this. I actually say this in my classes. Unless you're being chased by a lion, you're not in survival. Of course, if you don't have shelter, you don't have food, you don't have any, Yes, you're in survival. But any kind of level of fear clouds your intuition and clairvoyance. And for the record, you know what fear is? Y'all know the definition of fear? See, I wish that there wasn't such a long delay, or with the typing and people getting their thoughts together, because I'd love to hear what your definition of fear is. But fear, and I don't know where I first heard this, probably some guru many, many, many years back, eons ago. But fear is false evidence appearing real. Think about it. So if you spell out fear, false evidence appearing real, it's in our minds. It triggers in our bodies. That's what that sort of, what is it, flight or fight kind of a thing. But fear is one of the ways people exert power and control over us. And it's not what they're saying that makes us afraid. And Karen's saying, that's good stuff. I know, I love that. False evidence appearing real. I don't remember. I learned this so long ago. I think it was a sales trainer in real estate, oddly. It was a really long time ago. My mom says, I love that. Janet's piping up. That's very true. Richard says, I think we can get past the fear of death of our physical bodies. We can really begin to grow. Wait till you see, I've got a really fun little YouTube short coming out. So if you're subscribed, oh yes, please do subscribe to this channel. If you like what we see, I think many of you are already subscribed, but if you're watching later, please do subscribe and click like, give me a little fun thumbs up. On the YouTube channel, or even on the Facebook. You can purchase stars on Facebook. You can go to the little, this way, QR code right at the top there. That takes you to a virtual tip, or you can look at the description. I have stuff all over that. But yes, the death of our physical body. See, I need to drink more. Sorry. One day I'm going to actually have a cocktail, but I think I only do that on Michael's show. Then it's fun. But on this YouTube short, I talk about that we are not this body. We're just borrowing them for a bit. Kind of created coming in there. But fear, because it's one of those ways that it exerts power and control over us, and that it's not about what they're saying. It's that we believe them. We hear something that someone says and we believe them. And this has nothing to do with, conspiracy theorists who will tell you all day long, I've done my research and I am right. Because anytime that kind of divide comes, that's not the truth. Because that adds to the fear. But here's the rub. Our minds are so powerful that when we believe the fear, negative thoughts, invalidation that comes in to control us, that we're not any good, or we're not worthy, or we're not deserving, anytime we believe and let the fear take over, we ourselves are actually strengthening and giving power to those thoughts. In fact, we breathe life into that fear, and it comes alive in our mind and starts to run amok, because our minds are so creative that we can add to all our thoughts and visions and everything that we have, right? When things come alive, we no longer can have sort of control of the picture, and we certainly don't have discernment and neutrality to be able to see and know the truth. That's the rub. And the worst is that when we see and hear something over and over again, we start to question ourselves, or we start to believe what we're being told over and over and over again. And the more we believe, the more we strengthen what's going on. Yeah, yeah. Advertisers thrive on fear. Well, they thrive on a lot of stuff. They thrive on a lot of stuff. But yes. Wait, did I ever tell everybody this story about, and this is completely not on point here, but this story about how I think I might have told the story on one of the other TGIFs when AI just kind of exploded that week. And, we kind of went into this, crazy thing about that AI told me what I needed before I knew that I needed it, and I still appreciate it. So there we go. But yeah, sometimes that works. But the more we believe these thoughts, at some point it becomes so overwhelming that it feels like we're stuck and there's no way out. But it doesn't have to be that way. It never has to be that way. And all of this that I'm talking about are things that I teach in the workshops or one-to-one, or even insight in the readings that I give, right? I help people deprogram these fears or let go of these fears. And again, see, I'm almost forgetting, to say I'm a clairvoyant, right? I read. But we need to find our neutrality and look for ourselves with discernment and step out of all of this false evidence we thought was real. Plain and simple. And that's where, as a society, that's where we're heading. That's kind of what is clearing this week. That's what we're experiencing this week. A little bit when I said the veils are clearing, the cotton is clearing. Has anybody had kind of foggy thoughts this week? Because there was a lot of this kind of whitish cottony energy that was clearing, but it looked, I can't even explain it any better than cotton, like cotton. That's what it looked like to me. And that was a lot of, we're in the middle of Custer's last power stand right now. I talked about that last week. But there's power in and freedom when we begin to look for ourselves without judgment or resistance. And that is actually the key to stepping out of the thoughts that we get stuck in. Yeah, Janet, I'm assuming you haven't had a lot of focus lately. Yeah. It's some of that's the energy in the world, and some of that's what you're going through personally. Um, we all have things going on in our lives. I didn't know what day it was the other day. I had this foggy thoughts and everything. And I thought, my God, I need to go to the doctor. Like this is crazy. I'm like dizzy. I'm discombobulated. I can't really think straight. And then I sat my butt down in the chair and started to, I did a meditation and had to burst out laughing because I felt it clear. I physically felt it clear. So that was a little bit crazy. I've had a lot of stuff kind of happen this week in that kind of same vein. That's what I could tell you on that. But that's what's kind of that's how we're wrapping up the week this week with all of that stuff. Yeah, there's things in the news. I'm just not even going to go over it and mention it because it's like ad nauseum. We all know what it is, but it's around the world. I think that there's a really uh, sad division when we can't even welcome migrants into our space. I drive by them every day. I don't know where you are or if you have any, uh, if you see any of the migrants, but I drive by my gym. I drive right by one of the police stations and they're all camped out in front. And let me tell you something, when you see a little kid who is brought here by their parents for a better life. They're not just coming here to take anything. Yeah, this is all part of the fear that was kind of put out there so that to kind of control all of this space, right? But I guess there was also a boat in Greece that capsized or something, and they got a bunch of migrants. So there's definitely things happening where people are wanting freedom. They're at a physical level and a spiritual level. It's really quite something. So, anybody have any questions about that? Any comments? I'm just curious, and we'll do a little bit of a station identification. I just like saying that. I never had my own channel before. Here we are. So my name is Debbie Taitel, and I am your host, Spirit Light Insight. I do readings, I offer meditation workshops, lots of information here. And if you have been enjoying this, if you're on Facebook, you can shoot some stars my way. You can just, I guess, click on the little button. I'll find out from someone today how that worked. But you can click on the little button and send me stars, which is all greatly appreciated. You can support this stream by leaving a virtual tip. You can use the QR code. I do think it shows up in the chat then with the link, and then or down below if you're on YouTube, there is a place for that, or not even any of that stuff, but maybe you want a reading. um you can get a reading going to my website, spiritlightinsight.com, and there's a booking site. And actually, wait, I can put it up. I have all these things at my disposal, so you can book a session, sign up for a program or a healing. You are all welcome to do that, and it's all greatly appreciated, right? This is kind of what I'm doing. But definitely, if you're enjoying this, do like the whatever stream you're on. Go ahead and like it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Um, share with your friends. Let them all know. I would love to have a huge presence here, which is so much fun because this is really fun. Janet's saying she's going to book a reading soon. Yay! I look forward to it. But this is the time. That was my energy take. And each of you has an experience in your world with your energy take. Richard, was saying that he's experiencing people's energy from chaotic energies. You might be in that space. Actually, I have heard that from a lot of people. And each and every one of you that is here today, I not only appreciate having you here, but I appreciate your thoughtful questions and comments as we do this. I made the difficult decision actually not to go live on both my page and my personal. And part of the reason is because Facebook doesn't support it, which is fine. They can do what they want. I don't resist it. They're a free platform. I have no issues with, what they do or what they don't do. But I decided really I want to, kind of get everyone over to YouTube if possible. So yeah, so it's only on sort of 2 channels, I think right now, or well, 3. I'm streaming on Twitter as well, but who knows how long that will be. But now is the time for our closing meditation to reset your energy. And I hope that you all stay, because we are going to not just reset it so you're in the present and so you can enjoy your weekend, but we're going to clear and release a bunch of that false evidence that appeared real. We're going to clear the fear energy that's rampant in the world. It's not about, let's say, you personally, but even if you're not afraid, there's so much fear in the world that's what needs to be cleared from our space. It affects us. We are all connected. We're interconnected. Yeah. So stick with us to do that and then create a new space, because the more we let go of the things that affect us, the more we create space for new energy to come into our own lives. And then by that happening, it's new energy that comes into the world. So, and we're going to be setting our new moon intentions. So, let's take a few moments to reflect on the past week and call back our energy so that we can have this beautiful weekend of whatever we want to do. I have a couple of classes this weekend, so I'll be doing that. Usually I have some readings as well before and after. So give yourselves a breath and just find yourself in a comfortable seated position. I hope that's how you've been listening. So if you have been, if you're still listening and multitasking, you might want to settle in for this one. It'll be fun, or it'll be at least cleansing and aligning and balancing. But go ahead and find a comfortable seated position with your feet on the floor and gently close your eyes. If you're not in a place where you can close your eyes, just go ahead and turn your gaze downward and give yourself a breath. Begin to tune in with that breath and breathe kindly. You don't have to do any harsh anything like that. Just breathe gently and kindly. Say hello to your body, what it's been through all week, the chaotic energies in the world or the chaotic energies that you've experienced. Just say hello. Just feel your feet on the floor. You can wiggle your toes and imagine bringing your energy all the way in from the top of your head to the tip of your toes and being present and right here and now. Now gently rest your eyes and move your attention into the center of your head. Go ahead and center in your awareness. Notice the thoughts running through your mind and just let them be there. Just notice what's going through your mind. Notice the energy, the vibration, the color, and even the types of thoughts that are moving through your mind, and let them move right on by as if they were flowing like a gentle river. Let them be. Give yourselves a breath, and from that center of head, centered in your awareness, say hello to that first chakra, that energy center at the base of your spine. And just say hello to it for right now. The first chakra is the energy center that governs your identity, your space to be, your safety, your security. Many of us don't say hello to our bodies in this way, so go ahead and do this for yourself. And then in your mind's eye, I'd like you to visualize a beautiful oak tree out in front of you. Notice the trunk of the tree is wide and sturdy, and it's got roots that go to the center of the planet. And imagine flattening out the top of it and attaching it right at that first chakra at the base of your spine, so that you are connected with the earth, supported by Mother Earth, and also that you have a place to release energy. Give yourself a breath, and now give yourself some elbow room. You can even put your elbows out. Give yourself some elbow room and give yourself a space to be as you reflect on your week. And you can gently let any thoughts that go through your mind, or things that weren't done, things that you're still holding on to, things that you're still ruminating about or worried about, and just gently let those fall away. They will flow down that grounding, down the trunk of that tree, going all the way into the center of the earth and getting neutralized there. The earth will recycle that energy and send it back to wherever it came from. Because usually what you're releasing isn't you. So just breathe and release. And go ahead and release anything you're still being responsible for, and just be right here and now. If you're just joining us, we're just doing a beautiful grounding meditation. And give yourselves a breath and begin to release any of the energies or thoughts that came up, that got lit up or triggered when I was talking about fear as false evidence appearing real. What fears have you had that you're ready to release? How about any pictures about power and control? Mostly we resist power and control. So why don't you go ahead and give yourself a breath and just release the resistance to power and control. Most of the time, we're fully controlled because we resist the power and control. So go ahead and let go of that. Start to let go of any mind games that were played on you. Maybe somebody scammed you, or maybe somebody told you something or gaslit you or blamed you and it wasn't true. Let's begin to let go of any of those mind games. And include the ones that you maybe consciously or unconsciously played on others, not because you wanted to hurt someone or play a mind game. It was based on the information that you had at the time. Maybe you weren't aware. Actually, usually mind games come from not being aware. So give yourself a breath and let go of the mind games that you played. Maybe it was gossiping, or maybe you strengthened fear in others because you agreed, yeah, that person's wrong or bad or whatever. And just forgive yourself for not being aware, and give yourself space to be aware. Just be in right here and now in the present moment. And as my friend says, that's some juicy stuff right there. And I'm going to let you work on that, more of that later. I should probably teach a whole class on that or a workshop. Maybe I will. So keep your eyes peeled. But you can work on that more later. You can refer back to this meditation. You can refer to any of the free meditations or the ones that I'm going to have on YouTube. But yeah, just go to my website. There's a bunch. So you can work on this later. But for now, be right here and now in the present with yourself and all of us. And just rest your attention once again in the center of your head and be centered in your awareness. And begin to call back your energy, anything you've given away this week or even this month, or maybe just something you just started noticing you've been giving away. And you can call that energy back into a beautiful gold sun. Imagine a beautiful gold sun above your head, filled with life and joy, and just let this bright light attract any energy you've given away, any communications that are left open. Just call your energy back from all of it. And just give yourself space to be. Just let that gold sun be there and be right back in the center of your head, centered in your awareness, connected with the earth, noticing a flow of release moving down that grounding cord. And from the center of your head, I'd like you to imagine one of those little blue sparks, like on a sparkler from Independence Day or I'm sure there's holidays around the world that use sparklers, but I'd like you to go ahead and light the spark within and just begin to connect with your creative energy, whatever that means for you. The new moon in Gemini peaks on June 17th and 18th, depending on where you are in the world. So that's either Saturday or Sunday. And the moon represents our feelings, emotions, or subconscious. And the sun represents the energy of our conscious awareness and focus. So you can leave that gold sun up there as we do this new moon intention setting. Give yourselves a breath. The new moon in Gemini is ruled by the twins, right? Gemini is ruled by the twins, and this represents our duality. One twin represents the body, And the other twin is our spirit. Body and spirit unite right in our fourth chakra. It's funny. It looks off in the video, but it's not. Unite in our fourth chakra, in that energy center, that heart chakra. And so this reminds us, this new moon reminds us that we are spirits in human form. And we need both body and spirit working in harmony and balance to navigate this 3D world that we live in. Give yourselves a breath. And start to create that balance between mind, body, and spirit. And open a space to listen to your soul's guidance. Right here and now, we're being asked to see what is possible, not only for ourselves, but for everyone on Earth. And this new moon invites us to appreciate ourselves and all that we are in our totality. So give yourselves a breath and think about, see, and know what you'd like to offer the world. Is it a vibration of love and compassion and kindness? Is it a thing that you want to create, or maybe it's a new business? Maybe it's that you just like to help people in need. What would you like to offer? And go ahead and see yourself clearly doing that. Or you can even think of it like seeds, like planting seeds, and go ahead and plant those seeds of intention so that you can watch them bloom in the next week and even the next year. These new moon intentions are not just for this one time. Maybe there's an epic thing you want to create or recreate. Give yourself a moment to experience the peace and quiet of the moment. Just notice that as things begin to quiet down, notice that connection from your body to the center of the earth. But plant those seeds and create those intentions. And then give yourself a breath and gently bring your attention back to your physical body, your little human suit, as Oprah calls it. I think that's where I heard that first. And wiggle your fingers and toes for a moment and say hello to that golden sun above your head where you've been calling back your energy. And notice if it got larger or if it was still there. And if it's not, go ahead and imagine another gold sun above your head, filled with life and joy. And you can even fill it with some things that you would like to have, some qualities you would like to have moving forward. Maybe you would like some happiness or joy or enthusiasm for something. Maybe you'd like to even create something. Give yourself space for that. Maybe you just want a pink or a blue or a purple or kind of vibration. Vibe up. Put all that into that golden sun. And go ahead and just shine that down so that it shines right in from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Feel it as it fills up every part of you and every in-between part of you, in between the cells, in between all of your systems, your bodily systems, and that part that makes you human. And just fill up with that, and then let that expand past your skin into that bubble that surrounds you, your aura. And you can even expand it even more so that it touches others in the world. And then give yourself another deep breath in and slowly exhale. Come back to yourself. Gently open your eyes. Look around the room that you're in. Just return to yourself. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Pat your body. Just come all the way back. That was great. You all stuck with it and did really well. Welcome back. What a refreshing way to start the weekend. There were some comments, kind of as we were doing this. Richard said it's a lot to think about and reflect on. Yeah, I might have to do a whole workshop on it, just like a 90 minutes, so that we could actually work that energy, because that's really, there is a lot to think about and reflect on in all of our weeks, right? This is life. And so it's great that we just take this time now even to do it. And Tammy says, I'm letting go of it all. Have a great weekend. I don't know if that's the inflection, but that's the inflection that that I am giving it. But thank you all for coming and sticking with it as you kind of reacclimate with your surroundings. Yeah, I think that that's a thing to do. Move around. Just kind of move your body. Body movement is really good for kind of bringing it all back in. Yeah. You're very welcome, Janet. It's my pleasure. I'm glad that you stuck with it. It's really important that we do these resets, and even if you do it once a week with me, that's great. You're doing it. So Richard saying thank you. Have a blessed week, you too. So, as always, and I said it a couple times today, but if you enjoy what we're creating here, please subscribe, like, and share, whether it's the YouTube or on Facebook. You can send me stars on Facebook to support the stream. You can check out the link on YouTube to support the stream. That's via credit card. I'm using a different method than I was. So wherever you are, that'll be good. If you'd like a reading or interested in meditations or workshops, visit my website. But for now, oh yeah, and it's spiritlightinsight.com, spiritlightinsight.com. But for now, have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful new week. I might not be here next week, but have a wonderful week and keep your spirit light in sight, and always remember to shine your light. Bye for now.